Welcome back. You're still with Smart Money. My name is Kura and in studio I have the man who makes the plan, Warren Ingram, and we're discussing fractional share ownership. Joining the discussion is Almero Oosthuizen. He's the managing marketing manager at gt24.com, the Purple Group. Welcome to you, Almero.
Thank you very much, Kura.
All right, can I stuff up your name or your company name or anything like that?
Yeah, you can. That's fine. No problem.
All right. In English,
Sure.
the product that you are that we're talking about today is share ownership in a share of a share.
That's correct, yeah. Fractional share rights is what we call it.
It sounds pretty crazy to me. Why would I do it?
It's actually not that crazy. There's actually lots of benefits having the benefit of having, or lots of benefits into having fractional share rights. So one of the key benefits is that you actually can buy these expensive shares in the market that you probably previously couldn't afford. Warren mentioned Naspers is a good example. I mean, Naspers is trading at 2,200 Rand. And if someone wanted to take advantage of that share, and he's a 100 Rand a month investor, he would have had to wait 22 months. Sure. And I promise you, if you wait 22 months before you invest in that share, that money's going to be long gone. So you're going to wait maybe 6 months, and then something else is going to come up. The nearest sale is going to be around the corner, and you're going to spend the money there. So what we allow you to do is to buy a fraction of Naspers, for instance, as an example. And you can buy fractions of shares all the way down to 1/10,000 of a share. Wow. So you can buy 1 Rand of Naspers, if you like. So firstly, you get access to these expensive shares. Secondly, by getting access to more expensive shares, you can build a meaningful portfolio of shares with a small amount of money. So again, to take the 100 Rand investor as an example, all of a sudden now you can buy 10 different shares, let's say 10 Rand a share, and therefore diversify your portfolio and sort of diversify your risk at the same time. So that's really a key benefit.
So let's talk about the costs, because I think that's really where this kicks ahead of an online stockbroker,
sure.
For example. So for my $100, how much am I going to pay you guys to actually do this for me?
So inside Easy Equities, your $100 to have an all-in transaction, it includes brokerage, all the statutory costs that's associated with that transaction, is 64 cents. So it's really, we've brought it down to the bare minimum. Anyone and everyone can participate. So if you had to go and trade that 100 Rand through a traditional broker out there, you would have probably paid, like Warren said earlier, you probably paid around $150. So it doesn't really make sense. Even on the 1,000 Rand or 10,000 Rand investor, still an expensive amount of money to pay for having access to that trade. So there's, firstly, 64 cents per 100 Rand is what you pay for the trade. Plus, we don't charge you any monthly management fees for the account or administration fees of the account. And there's no minimum trade cost. So you can take 5 Rand or 10 Rand or whatever the amount is that you choose to invest.
I'm going to try and keep my voice up and not show my age. But I remember when I traded on the stock market, we used to get share certificates and used to check them off that so many shares. What do I physically have in this day and age? We've got dematerialized shares. When I've bought a share of a share with you, do I get dividends as well?
So yes, you get everything, all the benefits associated with that particular fraction of the share, as you would with the full share. So you receive the dividends in the proportion to what you own in terms of the share. You also obviously get the fluctuation in the share price, whether it goes up and down. The only thing you don't get is voting rights in the fraction. And I mean, South Africans traditionally don't actually vote, so you'll go to most listed entities' AGMs and you'll see there's very few people, and there's actually very few people that vote on shares. And we can actually effectively give you voting rights if we want to, because ultimately what we do is we own the full share, and so we're the counterparty in terms of that fraction. So we can fractionalize the voting if we want to, but it's really meaningless. I mean, it's not material to vote on the fraction necessarily. But we haven't seen anyone requesting it inside our business at this stage. But if it does happen, we will investigate it. But at this stage, there's no requirement for voting rights.
So I get a statement that says, Kura, you own 6/10 of a share in Naspers.
That's correct. Yeah.
So I think, I mean, one of the things that was bugging me about this when you guys first launched was I wasn't sure what happens to my money if you guys hit the wall. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying you can hit the wall, so, but
segregated accounts, I'd imagine.
Yeah, so it's actually quite simple. It's a structure that mostly asset managers use, that we use to house the shares. It's a nominee structure. So all the individual constituents goes into the nominee structure. What we do is we write 100% margin CFD, which is a little bit complicated, but 100% margin CFD against the fraction, and we always own the full share. So, and what we do is on a daily basis, we've got a session and pledge agreement where that full share that we own as First World Trader or Easy Equities gets pledged to the nominee structure. So if in any bad circumstance we had to maybe go under or insolvent, the full share is always there as security for the fraction. And so the actual user that owns the fraction of the share would never be, and a nominee structure is completely exempt from insolvency. So the money is segregated from Purple Group as such. So there's really no risk for the actual user.
Who makes the market in the fractions? If I want to sell my 1/10, who's buying the other 10? Who's buying that from me when I want to exit?
If you want to, you basically, we'll make the market. So we are the counterparty inside the fraction. So we will always buy that fraction back from you. And as I say, we always own the full share.
And the double will be at the last ruling price?
The amount that you get that we buy it back at is exact as the price that you execute on the platform. So the live price, the bid offer. So we've take the live bid and offer price on the platform, and if you execute, we execute at that live bid and offer price. On our platform, the prices are 15-minute delayed, and the reason for that is also cost. So if you had live prices, you would have probably paid around 70, 75 Rand a month for that. So we want to try and bring the cost down as low as possible. And the people that invest on our platform are investors, they're not traders. So it doesn't really matter to them if they get it at a 15-minute or view it. You get it at the live price when you actually execute the trade, but you view it at a 15-minute delayed price, which is more than sufficient at this stage.
A share of a share in a share. We're going to have a further unpacking of this concept on the other side of this break. Please, if you're going to make some tea, make it hot and quick. We'll see you just now.